Hello and welcome. Hi, I'm Dave. This tutorial is part of a beginner CSS series. I'll be using the Chrome web browser, the Visual Studio Code editor, and the live server extension for Visual Studio Code to view the web page. There are links to these tools, starter code files, and all resources in the description below. Let's move on to styling lists with CSS. You can see I've got Visual Studio Code open, and the starter code has an index.html file. And in this index.html file, we have a header inside the body that has an h1, and then we have a main element. And this main element has two articles in it. The first article element has an ordered list, and we can see that with the h2 title and then the ordered list underneath. The second article has an unordered list, and we can see that with the h2 title and the unordered list. So the only difference between these two lists is the beginning element, the OL or the UL, OL being ordered list and UL being unordered list. So I wanted to take a look at the HTML first. The CSS that we're starting out with just has a couple of basic things. An import from Google Fonts, where we're using the Roboto font that you see here, and then just a little bit of padding and setting the font size to 2 rems in the body. So the default for the browser is probably 16 pixels, so when we double that with 2 rems, we're now at 32 pixels for anything in the body. Let me pull Visual Studio Code over to the left side of the screen, and here in Chrome we can see this page. And so we have our ordered list here on top, our unordered list underneath. You can see the ordered list has ordinal numbers here, 1, 2, 3. The unordered list just has bullet points. Now I'm going to go ahead and hide the file tree so we can see our CSS a little bit better. Also press Alt-Z so anything that would be longer, like this URL for our Google font, wraps to the next line. Also worth noting that we're using the live server extension, so any change we make here in the CSS will automatically see over here in the browser as it will update immediately. Let's style the ordered list first, and the first property we want to look at for the ordered list is list-style-type. And here we get a list from VS Code, and we can choose different things to appear to the left where we see the numbers. So for example, let's choose lower alpha, and I'll save, and now we can see we have lower alphabet letters here, so ABC. Otherwise, we could choose some other things that I don't even recognize they have in here, like, let's get this reference again. Let's look at, Georgian, and maybe somebody else would understand these symbols. I certainly don't, but here we see symbols to the left that represent whatever Georgian is. Usually the default here is decimal. And so if I save that, we're back to our numbers. That's the default value. You could also see, I believe it said decimal leading 0. There we go. So if we chose that, we would get a 0 in front of each of the numbers. So you've got lots of choices to make. And by the way, list style type and all of the properties we'll look at can apply to unordered lists as well. We're just looking at this first with the ordered list. So I'm going to go ahead and choose something here that will make this look like an unordered list at first. So let's look at bullet. I believe it was bullet. Let me check the selection. And did I see bullet here? Not bullet, it's disk. There we go. I call it bullet points, but they're actually disks is what they're referred to. So this looks just like our unordered list now. So the only way we could tell that this is an ordered list is to actually look at the HTML code at this point. So we can make one look like the other. Another choice I often see is circle. But because it's an ordered list, let's stick with something that is in order. So I believe I saw an upper Roman. Let's choose that one and save. And so now we see Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3. Now while we're mostly focusing on the CSS primarily, let's go to the HTML quickly, and there's a couple of attributes we can add that will change how our list appears. One is the start attribute. So let's tell this to start at 3, and when I save, now you can see we get the numbers 3, 4, and 5. And then we can also add a reversed attribute, and as you might guess, now it counts down 3, 2, 1 because it starts at 3. So if we started this at 5, now it would count down 5, 4, 3. It's also worth noting that if we are not using numbers over here, such as the Roman numerals or decimals, we still need to use a number value here for this start attribute. So if I switch this back, it's just going to be what references that. So I will switch this to lower alpha once again and save, and you'll see it references the 5th letter of the alphabet, the 4th letter, and the 3rd letter as it's counting down from 5 to 3. Let's also consider that we could not have any kind of bullet or numeric out to the left, so let's just put none here and save, and you'll see that that's eliminated. But notice it's still indented, and that's because we have some default padding. So we would have to set the padding to 0 if we want our list items to go all the way back to the left. Let's take a look at that unordered list now. So I'll put UL here in our style sheet, and let's set the list style type on it as well. I'm going to set that to square instead of the discs, and if we save, we can see we have square bullet points now. Now the next list property to look at is list style position. But first, let's look at an issue that might get caused with list style position. So in our unordered list, if I set the text align to center and save, notice what happens to the bullet points. I've centered the text, but the bullet points are still to the left. Some browsers have been known to handle this differently and send the bullet points to the middle, and some leave them to the left. And the difference is the list style position default value. Some browsers have a default of outside, such as Chrome, and some have it inside, or at least they have at one point. I haven't checked browsers in a while instead of Chrome. But right now I have to set the list style position to inside to get the bullet points to align with the text. But if we set them to the default outside, they stay out to the left. I'm going to scroll up for some more room as we look at this unordered list. And now notice if I set the color to a blue here with hexadecimal and save, it changes all list items to blue. So that is worth noting as well. If you set the color property, it changes the bullet points and the text to blue. We can set other text properties too, or typography properties, such as line height. So I'm going to set this to 1.6, and you'll see some extra space between each of the list items. Now the last list style property we want to look at is list style image, and we can set an image to use instead of the bullet points. Now let's quickly look at the file tree. Notice I've got an images file, and in that I've got a checkmark image. It's checkmark.png, and we're going to use that as we set this. I'll hide the file tree again, but now we have to specify URL and then parentheses, and then navigate the file path to the image. So we're going up out of the CSS folder with 2 dots. Now we put a slash and go into the images folder, and then we choose our check mark, and I will save. And notice those bullets have now got changed to these green circles with a check mark in them, and that's our checkmark PNG. And there's also shorthand for all 3 of these list style properties. I'm going to press Shift Alt and the down arrow to copy down our list style image. And then I'm going to remove the image, and we just say list style. And we can put all 3 properties here with shorthand. So I'll quickly cut this with Control X. And first we'll just set this to square, and you'll see how it overrides the list style image. So we're back to our squares here for the bullet points. But then we can also supply an image. And when we do that, the square becomes the fallback in case the image would not load. And so now when I save, we've once again got the image. And then finally, we can provide the position. And so I'll say inside, and now the images are over with the text of each list item. So this is called shorthand. We just say list style, and we can provide 1, 2, or all 3 of these values that would be the list style type, the list style image, and the list style position. We can also override styles from the unordered list. For example, on each list item. Now this would apply to all list items, even in the ordered list, because I'm just saying LI and not specifying the unordered list or the ordered list as well. But we can override styles because this comes later in the cascade as well, but it's also more specific because we're down to the nested list items. So if I wanted to change the color of all list items, let's do something obvious here to red, and there I put a hashtag first. There we go, just the word red. Now they've all changed to red. However, if I just wanted to change the unordered list items, I'd have to put the UL first and then save, and now it just applies to the unordered list items. However, what if I just wanted to make the second list item red? Now we can use another pseudo-class. I'll put a colon, and then nth, which is nth-child, and then parentheses, and now I'll just put the number 2 inside the parentheses, and notice it only changed the second list item in the unordered list to red. So we were more specific, and we just changed one list item. Likewise, our nth-child pseudo-class also accepts the words odd. So if we pass in odd, now the odd numbered list items are red, and likewise we could pass in even and do the same. So now we're back to just number 2 because it's the only even number and it is turned red. And of course you could apply other styles besides just the color here as well if you wanted to, as you select each individual line item or all line items in any specific list. Okay, from that I want to move on from the pseudo-class of nth-child to a pseudo-element, which we have not introduced any of those yet in this series. This pseudo-element is called marker, and it starts with 2 colons and then the word marker. And all pseudo-elements should start with 2 colons instead of 1 like a pseudo-class. Now we can change some things about the marker, and that's usually what we would have here for a bullet or letters outside of an ordered list or numbers. So let's go ahead and comment out the list style image, and I do that with Shift Alt and the letter A, and then it comments that out here in Visual Studio Code, and I'll save. Now we're back to blue and red squares, which we specified up here in our unordered list. So let's say we want to change all of those back to a black color, but keep the text in blue and red. So here we can specify a color for the marker and specify the hex code for black and save. And now you can see once again we have black squares out here as markers. I'm going to scroll up for some more room because there's a few other properties we can add here as well. And I'm going to change this to red actually because we'll highlight something like we would on a sale page. I'll change the font family of the markers, and here I'll put fantasy, and might change the size a little bit, but they're currently still squares. We can set the font size if we wanted bigger markers like 1.5 M and save. You can see those markers got quite a bit bigger. I think we'll just go with 1 M for now. And then we can also provide content, and this is where it gets interesting. So imagine we had a page selling sub sandwiches or pizzas or some food item, whatever was on sale, and we said only $5 and put a couple of arrows. And now if we save, you can see that applied here. But notice we didn't specify a list either, so it also applied to the ordered list. We have the unordered list down here, but before we had told the ordered list to have a list style type of none. But when we provide content, it's still applied. So in that regard, you want to be more specific, and we could say just apply that to our unordered list. And this is just like above where we supplied the UL. We could also actually say LI here, and it would be the same result as well. But it's all markers in our unordered list, so we don't have to put the LI there, and it identifies the unordered list and changes. Now, what if you want a space? Well, currently, we have set the list style position to inside. So when we centered the text, this kind of threw that off a little bit, but also we didn't allow a space. So maybe we just put a space in our content and save, and that did create a little bit of space. So you could do it that way. You could add left padding, but since these are positioned inside, the left padding would be to the left of the markers. So that wouldn't work. If you did have your markers over here on the left and provided left padding, and of course that would be by setting this to outside. I could do that really quick and you would see what happens. Now the padding would come after the markers, but really we're going to have it inside, and now we just provided that space with a little bit of space right there. Now, as you learn more about web development, you can get creative with this content. You can put in what is called an SVG, and those are often used for images and icons. You could also put in something called font awesome icons and other types of icons as well. So this does hold different types of content, but it's easy just to type in here and show an example like that. Now, before I finish, there is one other HTML attribute that can be helpful, although it's rarely used. I do want to show it before we're finished. So let's go ahead and switch this back to something like lower alpha. There we go, for our ordered list. And now our EDC shows up. And if you remember, that's because we are starting with the number 5 and it's reversed. So if these were numbers, it would be 5, 4, 3. It corresponds to the letters. But we can also specify a value. So if we say value here and we put in 26, this will definitely make a difference. Now notice Z is the 26th letter of the alphabet, so the number corresponds still to whatever the order is. And we're going in reverse order, so instead of X, Y, Z, it went Z, Y right here. But this remained as number 5 because that's where this started. So this value attribute may come in useful in rare occasions. I definitely wanted to cover it. I almost forgot to, but there we go. I hope you have learned a lot about styling lists. Remember to keep striving for progress over perfection, and a little progress every day will go a very long way. Please give this video a like if it's helped you, and thank you for watching and subscribing. You're helping my channel grow. Have a great day, and let's write more code together very soon.